You know, there probably isn't anything any more rewarding than hunting with your wife.
I enjoy hunting with my husband very much. It's a lot of fun to get to experience what they experience every spring.
You know, Willa's not an avid hunter, but the fact that she's able to even hold a gun up and shoot a turkey and put a good shot on him each time makes me feel pretty proud.
This Iowa hunt that we do is become an annual thing, and that's the one I look the most forward to. Terry brings Willa, and there's nothing I enjoy more than calling for them.
Slip up here and see if I can see him. They're right there. Two big strutters out there. They've got a bunch of hens with them, but they're right on the other side of the berm. He's almost within gun range now. You can stay back and call him. We'll try and get to the berm and slip up as close as we can. They're within gun range of that berm. Let's go.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, come on in here, Tasmo.
Good job, Willa.
Thanks.
Well, you put him down.
Sorry to leave you back there so far.
That's fine. I don't think I'd have helped by being any closer. I think me calling and being back further was maybe helped a little bit. He sure had the hens with him.
Great calling.
Good job, Tad. Good job.
Good job, Willa,
Pulled
on
him
the
away
shooting.
from him, that's for sure.
Well, boy, I didn't think we were going to be able to do anything with him at all.
Isn't that a pretty turkey?
It was probably, I'd have to say, one of the most exciting hunts I've ever been on.
Wasn't easy, was it?
No, it wasn't
Well,
easy.
you put a shot on him, he went right down.
Thank you. It was luck, a lot of luck too. But
A lot of it was his calling. I mean, that bird, once he decided or made up his mind he was coming, boy, he just came on just right to that call.
Well, that's the thing with turkey hunting. It takes several different elements. It takes patience, stealthiness, and calling, and the whole works.
Whole
you know,
gamut.
woodsmanship.
We
it
used
takes
them all.
Everything. Yep.
We used every one of them this morning.
a gorgeous morning helps.
Yeah,
It was
this
a
morning.
pretty-
It's warm
pretty
though. It's
morning.
extremely warm for this time of the year.
That's what I like about turkey season.
Well, let's go. Let's go either go
Good
eat
job,
breakfast or
Willa.
get on another one. I
Thank
don't know what
you.
you'd rather do. Eat or...
Well, that's okay.
You know, if more men would get their wives involved in hunting, they'd probably get to spend a little more time in the woods. I've been looking so forward to this hunt all year long. This is one that Tad and Willa and Mark and myself get to share each year. And well, Tad has got such experience under his belt. Whenever he's calling, you don't have to worry a bit. You just sit there and let it happen.
There's always been turkeys. Well, this is where we hit that one and didn't get him in this morning. He's, you know, we were just right up the hill there.
But we've struck a lot of turkeys here in the past.
They're always just over this hillside, and they're out of the wind in that deep draw. Let's try and see what we can come up with.
Covering a lot of ground and striking is one of our favorite methods. We call it running and gunning or cutting and running. And the weather's been windy, and on those windy days, we like to cover a lot of ground and strike often.
You know, Tad and I have hunted together quite a bit, and as soon as you get that answer and you look at each other, you know right away that you know the hunt's on, you're going to have to move, and we both know what the other one's thinking, and we went into position real quickly.
Boy, from the strike, right at noon, you know these birds are in a good mood, and they were on a beautiful point, perfect place to set up. Turkeys hammered every call. Most exciting feeling, they're coming, closing in, closing the distance. And then all of a sudden you can't see them. What's going on? Well, in your cameraman's mind, you don't know what to do. Finally, Terry says they're there to the left, and I was looking more to the right, and they saw me move the camera, and the first thing I heard was a putt, and I was just sick. It made me sick to see those turkeys walking off as good as they had worked.
Tad and I both knew that they were hot enough that if we changed positions, we might be able to get them called back in. Well, I didn't, but Tad did. He slipped away and started calling, and his calling got him fired back up again. That was neat.
Terry's a big fan of float calling, dropping back, and it didn't take him long to turn around and give me the signal. I knew what he was thinking already. I dropped back and started calling as I went away, and then the turkeys kind of went a different direction, so I went opposite direction of them and started calling and pulled them right into his lap.
That was hilarious watching Tad crawl down that fence row, because Terry and I are thinking, come on, come on, come on. He's going so slow, just the same old pace, old steady Eddie Tad. I cut the camera on to film Terry's reaction, but we were both laughing so hard. It was just one of those days you never forget.
You know, when he was crawling off there, I thought to myself, he looks like a big box turtle going under the fence and then crawling down along that hillside. I was giggling out loud. I don't know if turkeys heard me or not, but it was pretty cool. I was never so glad to see those birds pop back out.
When they came back in that second time, I called to make him to stop the bird, and he gobbled, and I knew it was time to shoot.
as usual, when I'm out of sight of the turkey and I'm calling, working the bird, I was tickled to death to hear that shot. And when I hunt with Terry, I always know when I hear that shot that we got a bird down. They was a gobbling, wasn't they?
Oh my God.
It's about time, I'll tell you.
Good job. Good job, buddy.
Good job for you.
Man, oh man, was that a struggle?
Huh? Look at the spurs on this thing.
A good bird? Yeah, good bird.
Lordy.
What a struggle. How long have we been working these turkeys?
Too long.
Well, the first time they came up and we couldn't get a clear shot on them. You decided to slip on out and just start calling and fired them back up, didn't you?
The leaves are so noisy. I thought I sounded like a herd of hens probably leaving. Anyway, I was yelping as I left, and then I got hung in the darn fence and ripped my shirt up, and I was rolling down the hill and trying to crawl. And they went way back this way, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I thought at one time, I thought the son of a guns were going to come out in the field where I'm at.
That's exactly what I thought. I thought they were going to come out.
Then I was trying to peek, and I caught contact with you, and you said go
Keep
down
going,
the fence.
yeah.
So I was going, and I was afraid to get up, so I was just rolling like a tumbleweed. I'd roll about 5 yards and call.
I turned around and I looked, you looked like a box turtle going across there.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, the one thing they did that helped me and you, I'm sure, is they kept gobbling at everything.
Yes, had they not been gobbling, we wouldn't have known where they were going to pop up.
So you
But,
keep track of them.
you know, when that fact that you moved, and that's a great point, is never ever be afraid to go away from a turkey.
Right.
When you got one hung up like that and splitting up and you going off calling, it was more than they could stand. They had to come in.
Well, again, I was out of sight, but I was glad to hear the shot.
Man, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man. That was a fun hunt.
That was a great hunt. That's as good as it gets, right? That's a great eastern hunt.
You can't really call Tad an old timer, but you can call him an old schooler. He's from the school of hard knocks, and buddy, you've got a friend for life right there. He's one guy that'll do just about anything for anybody, and if I can ever do anything for him, I hope to repay him.
I really like this particular area. It's really a pretty spot, so we're just gonna set up. They're not gobbling much in the afternoons. We're gonna set up and see if we can possibly get one to decoy into this field. It's not our style, but we'll see.
You know, that's something I never thought I'd see Mark do, and that's sit patiently in a blind and wait for a turkey. That's just not his style.
You know, sometimes when things aren't working, especially on afternoon hunts, you got to change your pace a little bit. Slow down the pace and not do any cutting and running, just go sit and call. We walked in, went to a little wooden blind we had built. We climbed in the blind after I got the decoy set out and just started calling.
Well, we'll see if this works. It kind of plays a dual role in that we're watching a real big, cornfield that's been disked, so we can see a long ways in case one comes in the field. But we'll also sit here very quietly and see if one starts to gobble going to the roost, get a chance to get on him, or get on him the following morning. So evening hunting can be productive. We'll see if we have any luck.
I could tell he was getting a little bit impatient by his calling. You know, his calling started to get a little bit more urgent as the time passed by. He seemed like he was checking his watch there 2 or 3 times. It became more and more frequent. The time was passing awful slow.
We're cutting runners. We're not very patient. It's hard to sit there still.
I definitely hear walking right down here.
Wasn't long, all of a sudden I heard footsteps.
I was thinking, oh, that's got to be a squirrel or something. Surely it isn't a turkey. Couldn't believe it. I look over to the left, and there he stands, his head in the brush, and starts to walk out towards the decoys. Man, what a feeling.
he just kept coming, and he was kind of in half strut for the decoys. Wasn't long, I could see a whole red head coming. I didn't know if it was a jake or a gobbler, and all of a sudden that beard popped out. Woo! My heart went about beat out of my chest. Woo! Woo!
Man, those red wattles just stuck out, and that white head, it was pretty. I knew it was gorgeous. Bird rung his head up, and he put the shot on him like you like to see, and it was a nice hunt.
It just goes to show you, sometimes you just never know. I mean, that turkey never gobbled one time, but it gave us a great hunt. Man alive, afternoon and evening sun on an iridescent gobbler. Does it get any prettier than that? Goodness gracious, this turkey never gobbled a bit, but it was one of the most exciting hunts you could possibly have. We came into a blind we had built about a week ago to a field where we see them strutting in the afternoons a lot, and they're not gobbling much in the afternoons, and afternoon hunting can be challenging because of that reason. So sometimes you have to be more patient, which is hard for Terry and I because we're normally cutting runners. We cover ground, like to strike turkeys. But we just set up, put the decoys out, 2 Signature Series hens, and went to calling, cherry bomb and on a poison 2. And all of a sudden I could hear walking, and he walked right out into the green lane, started right towards the decoys. I cut a couple times to get his head up, and bingo, got the turkey. I mean, it just happened that quick. It was awesome. Just a lot of fun for an afternoon hunt. Beautiful.
As evenings go, you can't ask for anything any better. We weren't there all that long. Turkey worked in like he was supposed to. Mark puts a shot on him, walks out through a beautiful sunset onto the next day. I'll tell you what, that's the way it should happen in the turkey woods.
This isn't very fun at all. If we were deer hunting, I'd be loving this, but we're turkey hunting. This is spring. It's April 4th. We're heading up to South Dakota going turkey hunting, and we're driving through ice, snow, I mean, basically winter-like conditions. It's not really how you anticipate your spring turkey season going anyway, but we're still gonna make the trek. We think there's a silver lining at the end of the cloud there. It's pretty bad though. We're hoping not to end up like that. By the time we got into South Dakota, they weren't getting the snowfall. They were getting just a little rain, and it was white knuckle driving for sure for a while there though. And you drive all night and you don't have time to scout, so you're hoping that between conversations I had with the landowner and knowing the land from past hunts that we'd be on turkeys in the morning. And sure enough, I blew that cow howler, turkeys gobbled, and I knew we were in business. I set up quite a ways away, and I knew that the turkeys like to travel that way down that little creek line, and I thought we'd have some luck. And sure enough, that one Merriam gobbler couldn't take it. He separated himself from the pack, and he came pretty much running in. Looked like he was going to go right past us to our right for a little bit, and then he just angled and came right in, and When I couldn't take it anymore, I took the shot, and it was a good thrill to harvest another Merriam. What about that for a pretty morning hunt? Oh my gosh. This state never ceases to amaze me. As you can tell, we dressed with the warm weather gear today. It was cold. I mean, it's freezing. My hands are freezing. And I got a stocky cap over my cap. I got my winter coat on. On the way out here, it was snowing. It was ice and sleeting. They didn't happen to get any of that here, but they got the cold temperatures. And still these Merriams produce. I mean, he put on a show. He was gobbling, came around that corner, just strutting up the storm once he saw those flooded flex decoys. What an awesome early morning hunt. Look at this gorgeous Merriam. He is just gorgeous. That's awesome. That's awesome. It was a good thrill to harvest another Merriam. I can't ever seem to get enough of those. Those are probably my favorite turkey to hunt because they do like to gobble, and it's just always an awesome, awesome hunt.
I'm gonna check in real quick with a crow call. There's like a plateau on top of this hill. I think if I can get up there and get a decoy out, I might be able to pull him up in there. I've seen him strut on the top of that ridge before, so let's try to get up there.
You know, the apprehension of this hunt kind of intensified as the sun started to come up this morning. Drove all night long. We didn't get to roost any birds, so when we heard the birds gobbling and they weren't where we were, you know, it kind of made me nervous a little bit. Year to year, you try to hunt the same spots, but the birds, you know, tend to work just a little differently from year to year. And it was really that patience and belief in that spot that really hooked us up on this bird this morning. Just can't say enough about, you know, knowing where these birds want to go and putting yourself in a position to, you know, cut them off before they get there.
As I was following John up the hill, and that bird just hammered. He was right there. The drum really started to build. I was kind of in a rush to get my camera set up and make sure that I had everything in perspective. I had pretty high expectations due to the really beautiful weather. I was hoping that I'd be able to film my first turkey hunt with my new camera.
I'll try to set up right here. It's nice and flat. They like to strut on that top of that ridge, so I think I can pull him up out of that bottom.
I knew from years past that this could possibly be on, and we no more than got the decoys set up and got positioned into a tree and tucked back in there, and I heard him drum, and I thought, ooh, he is close. Sure enough, you know, here comes his old white head bebopping through that grass, and it just, I can't tell you the adrenaline that starts to flow on the first bird of the year being that close. It just makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up when you know you're that close, kind of in his home range. So I was pumped. I just traced him coming through that grass, and as soon as I heard the cameraman say kill him, I let him have it. Woohoo! I've waited 365 days to come right back to this spot, and they paid the price. So for all them guys out there that missed, take that. Oh man, he's heavy. Opening morning of Kansas turkey hunt, and I have good friend Dave Reisner and Kurt Ritchie to thank for this hunt, because they came down here a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and these birds weren't quite working yet. It was 17 degrees, wind was blowing, and just their knowledge of the turkey woods helped us to set up on this guy right here. Opening morning, 7 o'clock, he didn't know what hit him. Great hunt. When all this comes together and you share it with a couple of good friends and they actually do the work to put you on them, it's a good feeling. And the least I can do is buy these guys breakfast. So that's where we're headed. We're gonna get us some breakfast, and we'll call this one a hunt. You gotta set that bar high, man.
Well, we've been following this flock that's leaving all these scratchings since this morning. We roosted a gobbler last night. This morning he just gobbled like crazy at us. We just couldn't get him to do anything. He had so many hens. The hens wanted to go one way, so obviously he followed them. We've been sticking with them, waiting for the frost to burn off these fields. Once the frost burns off, they should move out of the woods here and start strutting and scratching out there. So we'll use that as an opportunity to stay inside the woods and get out ahead of them and see if we can call them back into the edge of the woods here.
It was just incredible. Once 2 or 3 series of calls, the hens just came right in. And the gobbler seemed to stay in a position where the cameraman, John Frank, couldn't get him at all.
Trying to film between the sliver of Kurt's back in the tree, and trying to crack focus through that, and it's just, man.
Finally he cleared the tree, and John gave me the signal to take him. This bird's got a lot of special meaning to me. It's my first opportunity to hunt Kansas. It's my first opportunity to hunt with John Frank. I had an opportunity to film his turkey hunt opening day of Kansas. Today's the second day. It's been a great experience. I've gotten to know John pretty well in the last few days, and spent some time in camp with Dave Reisner and a couple other people from Mossy Oak. It's been a really fun week so far. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come.
thrown out of my mouth. It's cold. It's early season Wisconsin. Oh, what a rush. What a gorgeous, gorgeous eastern wild turkey. Red, white, and blue head, long beard, beautiful iridescent feathers leading up to that full tail feather, mature gobbler. Man, that's beautiful. And what an exciting hunt he gave us this morning. Just got in really super tight to this turkey. We were within 100 yards of him right off the roost. And the reason we were is that I roosted this bird last night and wanted to get in tight on him. That's really a big key as far as killing a bird right off the roost, is you want to get tight on him, doing your homework the night before. As you can see, we're hunting these row pines where it's nice and flat and open. And because of that, we wanted to get in super tight, use the cover of blackness this morning, slipped to within 100 yards of this bird, didn't call to him on the roost. As soon as he hit the ground, made a couple small little calls, and he just came powerhouse and just full strut, gobbling the whole way. And what an exciting hunt he gave us, and what a gorgeous bird.
Well, if any of you guys have watched any of the Drury Outdoors video selection, you'll know that I'm a relative newcomer on the video series, and I'm also an over-the-road truck driver. And I just got back last evening late, and we have a turkey hunt scheduled down south of Lincoln, Nebraska with Tim Puhala, Wild Things Outfitting. I was really looking forward to this, but now the weather changed on my way out here. Now I'm stuck in the pickup with just fierce conditions, freezing rain, cars in the ditch everywhere, and people driving like they're crazy as usual. But something drives me every spring. I just can't wait to go bird hunting. So here I am. Suffer out the drive, and hopefully tomorrow the weather breaks and gives us a good hunt. We'll just keep plugging along here, and hopefully it gets better out here.
Because Nebraska's really not into it yet, but it's going to be a pay-to-play game in the next 10 years when it comes to hunting.
Right. Yeah, that's the way it's getting everywhere. By us, they're getting good money for people.
Oh yeah, people are paying $10, $12 an acre. Yeah, for hunting ground. Yeah.
We're here with Tim Puhala in Nebraska, Wild Things Outfitting, and got some birds located here. And what do you think these birds are going to do tonight?
Well, we've got a nice brushy pasture up north here, and these birds are moving to the north. We've already got some toms. It sounds like maybe they're roosted already up in here, gobbling back at us. There's probably a flock of at least 25 birds, and from watching this flock, there's at least 7 good toms in here putting on a good strut display this last week. What I'm going to predict here is they're going to move in here. There's 2 or 3 good roost trees up in here, and they're probably going to fly down into this open field in the morning. And if we can get set up along that field somewhere and catch them coming off the roost early, I think we're going to have something with an arrow in it come good daylight.
We're going to have to jump on them, though, and we're going to be able to tell exactly where they are.
Right. Yeah, we're just going to sit here and wait them out, see where they go, watch them fly up. We're going to be down here, we're going to be right on top of them in the morning.
We just slipped in here on this fence line, and we were on some birds this morning, didn't come by us, and the guide said they normally work their way over this way and along this fence line, so we're just hoping we got in front of them. And if we did, I would say they're going to be pretty close, so we're going to get set up, and I hope they come through. birds were feeding. It's early here in Nebraska, and we just slipped up and purred at them like feeding just like they were. And sure enough, as a bearded hen, then that gobbler coming behind him, and they came right at about 20-yard shot. Just we couldn't ask for anything better. Man. There's more birds over that hill. I know there is. My bird's down. Let's swap. If they come in, I'll film you. Let's do it.
I am stoked. Man, this has just been I can't explain it. We're out here hunting with Tim Puhala at Wild Things Outfitting out here in Nebraska, southeastern Nebraska, and temps have been like 28 to 30 degrees, windy, raining, snow. It's just been brutal, and the birds aren't coming to any calls of any sort. So the guide placed us, as Dan said earlier, as the hunt unfolded in this fence line, and he figured these birds would head this way, and we got in position to get shots at them, and as luck would have it, we were able to pull off a double, and I mean, it just, I'm shook and pumped. It's crazy. But this bird come in, and I put about a 35 yard shot on him and hit him dead center, and I was using my buddy's equipment. We swapped hands here and pulled the double, and we shoot a lot together, and I'm familiar with what he shoots and his style and my style, and we shoot 3D, and we made it happen, and it's just incredible. My bird's laying right there, and I couldn't be happier.
What is that, man? Was that awesome?
Oh man, incredible.
2 birds in one setup. 2 birds, 1 bow.
Well, we ended up with 2 beautiful Miriams. We're down here with Tim Puhala with Wild Things Outfitting, and I think you did your homework, because these came just like you said.
Well, we've done plenty of scouting on these birds, and usually the way they move, they come off the roost. They put the fix on you this morning. Just repositioned you guys for the way that they've been moving lately, coming right down the hedgerow right to you, and looks like we got 2 instead of 1 here this morning.
Yeah, that was something I've never even thought about doing, you know, but the birds come in and give Dan a close 15-yard shot. He was able to make the harvest, and got that accomplished, and they were still gobbling back over the knob there, and we thought, heck, we didn't disturb them. Maybe they'd feed their way down. Luck had it, they come on the other side of the hedgerow, and we went to work and was able to put a good shot on a beautiful adult gobbler, and it couldn't have been any sweeter. I don't know. I'm just tickled to death. It's been a good time. Thanks a lot.
Sometimes things works out right, guys.
That's right.
Looks like they did this morning.
Thanks
so
again, Tim.
Glad to have you up here, guys.
Awesome hunt.
Well, I'm finally here in Eastern Washington State with Joe and Jody Rasmussen, Sherman Creek Outfitters, and I'm here with my best buddy and camera partner, Dave Reisner. We've been looking forward to this hunt all year. chasing these mountain Merriams around. And I know whether we're successful with the harvest or not, it's going to be a great hunt. I'm really looking forward to it. Well, we got on those birds early this morning, and they came right into the call. Well, of course, they were all jakes, but it was still an exciting hunt. They were just hammered. You could actually see their breath coming out of their beaks when they were gobbling or calling.
Joe and I came in here last night, roosted these turkeys, and we actually saw a longbeard go to roost too and roosted it, but it was with hens, so we thought, well, Joe knew where these turkeys wanted to go in the morning, so we thought we'd set up on them. And it worked out great, but they're all jakes. We had like 8 jakes come in, these 4 just won't leave. Amazing.
Well, we kept at it, and we must have heard at least 30 of them from the limb this morning. We had those jakes come right in, right off the limb, and but we couldn't get a longbeard, so we kept at it. Well, we finally got a bird to gobble. We were actually on our way back to lunch, and I called, and he hit our call. He was less than 50 yards away. So what we did, we set up, and it was clear the bird wasn't going to come any closer, so what we decided to do was get aggressive, and he was one of those unique turkeys. Either you unique up on him or you don't kill him. And we decided to just slowly work towards him and call and see if we could make him think that the hen was coming to him, so he'd come closer to our position. And then as we were working closer to the turkey, I couldn't believe it. I looked up and I saw his tail fan, and I told Dave, I said, I'm gonna get down, I'm just gonna lay on my stomach. And I guess Dave was filming right over my shoulder. The turkey came right in. What a gorgeous turkey. I'm here in Washington State hunting with Joe and Jody Rasmussen, Sherman Creek Outfitters. And I'll tell you, we had a tough hunt this morning, and it wasn't because of lack of turkeys. This bird, we actually, we were headed back for lunch, and luckily we stopped and called one more time, and he gobbled less than 50 yards away. And we set up on him, and he just wouldn't come in. He was waiting for the hens to come to him. I guess they're just used to the hens coming to him right now. So we decided to get aggressive and just kind of walk towards him real slow and call. And luckily I saw his tail fan coming down the logging road, and I literally just had to drop right down. And luckily he came in and gobbled a couple times. I was fortunate enough to get this gorgeous, gorgeous turkey. It's a gorgeous hunt. What a beautiful turkey. It's just it was an awesome, awesome hunt. It was so exciting. It's a hunt Dave and I will remember for a long time.
You know, it's not easy to harvest a bird midday. You've got to be pretty patient to sit there and wait and call softly and kind of listen for what's going on in the surroundings there. So, you know, it might be something as subtle as drumming, and if someone doesn't know a spit and drum when they hear it, you really, really, really got to key in and listen pretty intently to pick up on it.
Pulled up here about 20 to 12. Used the old cherry bomb. Struck a turkey here on the other ridge. Unfortunately, I missed a turkey this morning. But I think being right at high noon, they should be losing their hens by now. So I'm gonna give this turkey a try and I'm gonna work him. Tell you what, it was midday today. We went out and struck a bird and we were fortunate enough to hear one. We went inside the timber, we sat up, made a few small calls.
We were starting to, you know, just sit there and do a little bit of soft calling, and all of a sudden we heard the drumming, and Steve and I both got, you know, alert at one point there. Wasn't long we heard some footsteps, and sure enough, then all of a sudden I saw a glimpse of him down in the brush. It's hard to harvest a bird in the timber and get it on film too, so it's kind of a challenge for the videographer.
Yeah, baby, yeah! Woo!
I've been hunting with Steve for a long time, and I don't know that I'll ever lose the luster of going out with him, because he gets more excited than anybody I know. It's such a rush to see him run out there after he shoots a gobbler and he starts giving that old war whoop, you know, that yell and scream, and I really get excited when he does that. It's actually a way for me to relive the hunt or live through it.
Oh, man. Tell you what, 12 o'clock. That just goes to show you it pays to stay with these birds all morning, take a little break. We came in here and struck this area. We had one gobbling off on the other hillside. We continued to work him a little bit, and this one just popped up, boy. He started gobbling down here. Next thing we know, we heard him spitting and drumming right up this point, and oh, baby, it was great. I missed one this morning, and I felt bad. I was sick to my stomach all day, and Terry said we gotta just keep at it, and we did, and boy, it paid off, and I'm one happy guy right now, boy. Woo! Yeah! Yeah, baby, yeah. Oh. I tell you what, after I harvest a bird, I really get excited and pumped up. Some guys make fun of me, but that's just how I am.
You know, we hunt in so many states and hunt so many days afield that the adrenaline rush kind of loses its luster a little bit. So it's always a pleasure and a delight for me to go out with somebody that still has that drive and motivation and gets all excited after they kill a turkey.
You know, each spring we take a lot of different guests and riders and customers, but this year we had a special guest coming in, Gordon Olson. He had won the Pick Your Pro contest with Turkey and Turkey Hunting magazine.
I knew that Mark Drury, he was a good caller, and I can't blow a mouth call. I sound like a New Year's horn. So I thought I'm gonna go with the best, so that's it. Here I am.
You know, when I first met Gordon, I knew right away I was talking to a turkey hunter. He knows what he's doing.
Well, I've been turkey hunting since 1987, I guess, and I've shot about in the neighborhood of 20 turkeys, I suppose.
You know, I was filming, and we split up, and Terry and Brian Lovett went one way, and myself and Chad Kilmer and Gordon, we just went driving and striking and enjoying the morning, and finally got on a bird about 10 o'clock. And the only way to get to him was up a muddy creek.
We've had, I think, 3 inches of rain in the last few days. The ditch is horrible. It's sloppy mud. I fell through in quicksand. It was a wreck.
Boy, that creek was perfect though, because it was high bank, slippery, but it worked out perfect. We got to go right to that bird. Once we got in place, we started to slip up, and I was having trouble keeping my footing. Plus, I was trying to, you know, just squeak up high enough to where I could film the bird without spooking him. Boy, I was happy to see Gordon make that shot.
That was it.
You pumped up, Gordon?
I'm pumped. Feel that baby. He's about, I'd say 22,
Hold him up.
23. Look at those spurs on there.
Oh boy.
Starting to get a little hook on him.
Yeah.
That's what he's all about. Nice beard. Like the guy from Australia says, what a beauty.
You know, all in all, it's fun hunting with different people, and it's always fun to do contest sweepstakes with people at turkey and turkey hunting. Great day. Great day out in the turkey woods.
It was tough but fun, right?
Had to sneak him.
Yeah, that's right.
Had to sneak him. All right.
We did that.
That's what you got to
do.
do.
The water and the mud.
That's what you
Big
got to
time.
do. As long as we got your bird, you got your bird.
He's a beauty. He's a real nice one.
Now we get to pack him out for the same
Yep,
mock.
we carry him out on our...
Super nice gentleman, carpenter his whole life, 65 years old, gets around better than Chad and I do. You know, you kind of make a new friend whenever you're out there turkey hunting, and I feel like that's what happened today. Really a good guy to go hunting with.
You know, being that Eric had never shot a turkey before, I decided that I'd let him go first down there in Kansas so he'd have the first shot. I figured, well, maybe we'll get lucky that first morning. The weather had a 25% chance for rain. I thought maybe we'd get lucky and have a good day and he'd go out and kill his right away, then I'd still maybe have a chance to get one. But the way it always works out, went out that morning and it just poured. I mean, we got some turkeys going, but it just seemed like they really weren't interested in us. They wanted to stay in the woods with the hens. So we just kind of backed off, went back to the room and just took it easy for a while. And after lunch, the sun started to pop out and the weather got good again, so we were back in business.
We were driving down the road and I looked out the window and I spotted these two toms with some hens strutted up next to this finger. So we decided, heck, we're gonna try to get down and below this river and walk the riverbank up to them. And I didn't think it was gonna work because we walked the riverbank and we made a pile of noise. We got set up in this one finger and we started calling and it just wasn't the right finger. They couldn't hear us because there's a little bit of wind.
We tried right away there for a little bit and nothing happened, so we got up, we moved our position up 150 yards and we didn't even have time to set a decoy out. The turkeys were there just like that.
Sure enough, I hit the call once just to see where they're at, and they started gobbling. And we call a little bit more, and sure enough, the toms come in just running and gobbling at the same time when they're running. And they were just like 50 yards away on the other side of this little hill, and they were coming running. It was neat. I don't know why. I never really turkey hunted before, and then that just made me want to turkey hunt even more when I seen that. Sure enough, here they come running in, and they're gobbling while they're running. The hens were coming, and they got in close enough. The hens started veering off to be my left, and the hens were 5 yards away, and the Rio decided he was going to stay along the field edge.
eastern followed the hens, and I was telling Jason I was going to shoot the eastern, and I went back to shooting the Rio, and I was confusing Jason, and then I decided if I got a good shot at this eastern, I was going to take it. Yeah, I tell you, after I shot the bird, we were sitting there and the turkeys were gobbling from the shell shock from the gun going off and just across the river. So I gave Jason the gun. I told him to give me the camera. I said, what the heck, we might as well do it.
Eric just killed one, just no more than 30 seconds ago, but when he shot, about 4 or 5 more toms gobbled on the other side of the river. So he's gonna take the camera. He gave me the gun. I got a tag, so we're gonna sneak across their sand here. We'll see if we can get him to gobble one. Right there, they're still there. Hold this up. There's 3 or 4 of them. We're gonna have to cross the river.
You know, and after Eric shot his turkey and I heard the mother turkeys gobble and I knew it was gonna be my turn to hunt, I just thought for sure it was gonna work.
We thought there'd be a place to cross the river, but the turkeys are right on the other side of the river.
And we got over to the edge of the river and I was like, all of a sudden my heart about sank. I was like, oh God, this river's too deep. There's no way to get across it.
Yeah, but they're right there. Listen here.
We kind of put together a little plan and just said, heck, we're gonna get wet. I knew if we got across that river that we were gonna get a shot. So we just bucked up and let the water flow over the boots and away we went.
We had to cross this big river and we were gonna get wet. So I figured, we're in Kansas, we might as well try it. So sure enough, we crossed the river and we were wet from our ankles to our knees. And we got up the bank and he called and they come in just a gobbling.
They gobbled again and they're maybe only 50 or 60 yards away, and I looked up and there was one tree you could slide up to, and
I think right here. Do that come around there, or they're gonna come right through here. It's gonna be quick, but I think it'll work.
It wasn't the perfect situation because we weren't gonna get much time to see them, and I knew that, so we got set up there, and I no more hit the call once or twice, and just like that, they were on top of us. And I had my pick of the litter. There was at least 4 or 5 that I seen nice toms in there. One come by first and he gobbled. When I shot that turkey, there were so many other turkeys there that they just didn't want to leave, and it was kind of exciting because they just stood there and gobbled. The first one in the flock kind of took off running the other way, and the rest of them just stayed there and gobbled, and he was really exciting. You know, it's a lot of times I've always heard how if you shoot the boss tom, how the next tom in the line will come and try to take over the pecking order, and that's exactly what happened, and it was just amazing.
That's our double. Eric just killed one 3 minutes ago. Had to swim across the river to get here. Called a couple times. We had these ones gobbling. They come right across. They're still gobbling.
come in there and we're gonna go out that top field. And he stopped at one stop there about 35 yards and I drew beat on him. That is awesome. It's a nice Rio Grande. They're still gobbling right there. I could probably call another one right back in. Let's just see what happens just for fun.
Yeah, the cool thing was after we shot the turkey, the other turkeys just sat and gobbled from the shock of the gun barrel. I couldn't believe it. It was actually pretty neat because they just ran off like 10 yards and then they turned around and started gobbling again. That must be one of the parts that's awesome about turkey hunting that I hadn't experienced yet either, so that's just going to keep me turkey hunting for the rest of my life, I think.
What do you think of that for the first turkey hunting? Pretty exciting, huh?
I tell you, what a rush.
The story just folded out perfect. I mean, you shot yours, we heard a couple more gobbles off there to our left-hand side. And you said, well, you take the gun and I'll video, we'll go try to get another one right away. And
Yep. I wasn't for sure if it was the one that got away, the one that was missing the tail feather. Maybe they would have flew across the river and that was him chasing the hen gobbling. I wasn't sure, and then all of a sudden we got over there and look at all the toms we ended up seeing.
oh, I know, there was just a whole nother flock over there. And I had my pick of my litter, and pretty awesome, ain't it? You think about it. You got yourself a Eastern, and I got myself a Rio Grande, and we shot them 100 yards apart and 5 minutes apart. Kind of lucky I'm a nice guy. I decided I'd let Eric shoot first since he's never shot a turkey before, and I bet you'll be shooting a turkey again now.
Oh, I'll definitely do it again. I'll guarantee you I'll be up 4:30 in the morning to do this again.
Yeah, I've been telling you for years how exciting it is, and
yeah,
finally got you to do it.
I'm not going to argue that. Well, congrats.
You bet. You know, the way Preston's hunt unfolded, we were so unprepared because we weren't really planning on hunting. We figured, well, if we seen something, we'd go after it. But the way it unfolded, we spotted the birds, and I figured, well, if we get ahead of them, he might have a chance.
Okay, we just gotta try to get up there a couple hundred yards. I think we can sneak down. There's a little ravine there, and then we'll see where we're at from there. Ready?
Yeah, we were driving down the road, and we saw some tom and hens, and we thought it was early enough that we still had a chance at calling them in. So we gave it a try. We had to crawl on our hands and knees through some woods and cross a couple fences to get ahead of them.
Seeing how eager Preston was to get out turkey hunting, it made it kind of exciting for me and Eric both, because we were going to wait the next morning to try to go out, you know, put one to roost and have everything come in perfect in the morning for him. But it worked out to where in Kansas you can hunt until sunset.
We saw a tom and a couple of hens, and he was acting pretty aggressive, strutting up for him and stuff. And we thought it was early enough that we could still maybe call him in.
Try to slide right up right by a tree right over there. Just gotta get down there, maybe see if you can find a spot to set, otherwise lay on your belly and just kind of have your gun so it sticks over. Just make sure you keep it on safety until he gets right where you're right in front of you.
I remember when I was following behind Jason and Preston with the camera, we got set up and Preston was laying on his belly on the ground and I was getting the camera set up, and all I can remember is looking at Preston's eyes when he had his mask on. His eyes were just beating full of adrenaline.
He was probably 600 yards away, and I had to really call hard at him just to get his attention. And after that, I knew that I just needed to shut up because they were already coming our way. So if I just put the calls down and just let them come in on their own. And I know Preston was really excited, and I was getting excited because it doesn't always work that good, and especially when you didn't expect it to happen. The way it unfolded, it was just awesome.
He was kind of hesitant for a while, but with soft calls, he didn't gobble much, but he came in.
Once I did that a few times, I got the hens going, and they came our way, and they came to maybe 80 yards, and he kind of hung up there, and the hens veered off in the bushes, and which probably really helped us because once he got to that point, he spun around and started heading the other way. Well, then I just started soft calling, and he just came on a string. You know, if we didn't have our gloves, didn't have our face masks, here me and Eric were, he's trying to run the camera without a face mask, without no gloves. Here I'm trying to hide behind a tree to call for him. Knowing from my aspect, from where I could see, I knew what the turkey was doing. It was really exciting, maybe more exciting than my hunt was.
the gun on safety, buddy. Give me a high five on that one. How was that for your call? Boy, didn't he come in perfect? That was just awesome.
Yeah, I saw him coming pretty much the whole way, and I was excited.
Did you think he was going to come right in, or did you think he was going to leave with those hens, with how the hens cut off down there a little earlier? And
I was pretty confident.
I really was hesitant because I thought we should maybe just wait till the morrow and hunt and go try to put some to sleep, but you told me that we could call him in tonight, so I figured, well, if he's got that much confidence, we'll try it, and it worked out, didn't it?
Yeah, I've seen my dad do that a few times, so.
Well, he's a nice bird. He's something to be proud of. We better go back and show him to your dad. I bet he's going to be proud of you.
Yeah.
Here, I'll switch you on tape turkey.
Sure.
I'll carry the light gun.
All right.
All right.
You know, it's kind of a late spring, and I feel like the turkeys have been henned up a lot, but finally the foliage is full, and we decided to go to Illinois. I was going to film, and Terry was going to hunt.
Made a conscious decision to come into a spot and get between one lone bird that was gobbling and the rest of the group.
We set up and I just pressed record and let it roll because the gobblers were really gobbling good, but it was interesting. They really keyed in on Terry's calling right away. You know, when you get into that full foliage, sometimes the birds can be henned up, sometimes they can be by themselves, but this morning there were turkeys everywhere in the trees.
It was nice to have birds separated like that. Had one gobbler that was kind of off to himself, and then the whole wad of turkeys were, you know, in a group right here. So it worked out pretty good.
There was hens yelping in a lot of different trees, but the only call they'd answer was that loud hen, that aggressive hen that Terry was doing. Sometimes it helps to be the loudest hen in the flock. You know, and the more he called, the more response he got, the better he felt, and the louder he'd call, and finally he was the only one they were keying in on.
Well, finally aggravated him enough or irritated him enough where he had to come in and take a look. I got a little bit more aggressive with calling.
Boy, it was nice to see Terry make that shot, and just ended up being a great day.
I can't describe the feeling when you work as hard as we do and you go as many days as we do a field and you finally get a turkey to come in, and it was a classic eastern hunt. Just absolutely annihilated his head, and I know that was 35 to 40 yard shot, but shooting the Remingtons, we've had nothing but the best results with them. This was a classic eastern hunt this morning. We had one bird, a single over here gobbling all by himself, and then we just had a gaggle of them down here in this beautiful hollow. I finally had to get a little aggressive with him to get him to come in. He stayed up over the hill, and I imagine he was a little bit leery about coming into this group because of the other gobblers, but we got aggressive enough and had been pretty soft all morning. You know, every once in a while we'd bring the elevation up and try and get to a little bit higher pitch, but I finally did have to get him fired up and hammered him a little bit there towards the end, and he gobbled 3 or 4 times and came on into gun range. So it was a classic eastern hunt. You don't get many of those, but this time of year it's tough. I'm hunting the last season here in Illinois. It was a lot of fun. So head on back and see if we can't find some mushrooms.
It's always fun to have Terry in my viewfinder walking away with a turkey over his shoulder. End to a great day.